It is week 2, and now is the time for story time, and I'm so glad I'm going to get to tell you part of my story. So my story, and I really want to tie it into what we've been saying and focusing on this week, which is when you don't know what to do, God is with you. And I want to tell you a story about a time in my life that I cannot remember being more lost or without options. My dad has had a long history of high blood pressure and kidney failure and problems, and basically over time has become handicapped. And my dad's become, after that, several strokes. So he's had speech impediments and different things. His brain has a lot of damage on it. And so my dad has become very dependent upon help. And for a time, I tried to get him through it, but it became impossible for me to take care of him. And so what happened was my dad was living alone in a small condo in Phoenix, Arizona. And I basically, through a horrible set of circumstances, ended up having to go live with him because he had fallen in his home and got rushed to the hospital. And after this period of time, the doctors basically said he can no longer live alone. And I knew that I couldn't take care of him. I mean, my dad needed help doing every little thing you can imagine that we do as people. So my dad ended up in a nursing home. And it was a temporary home because we needed somewhere for him to move out of where he was. And his house was filled with all this stuff. So what happened is we put him in this nursing home, and I started getting some friends of mine together to just go down and take his stuff and move it up to Flagstaff before he got there. And so I took my two buddies, Garrett, who's my best man at my wedding, a great, incredible friend, and his brother-in-law, Jacob Matheson, another gem, an amazing man who I love so much. And these guys just helped me, the three of us, get my dad's condo all cleared out. Now, on that day, we were clearing out. It was hot. I mean, we're in Phoenix, right? It's hot. These guys are helping me. I'm just keep thinking in my head, hopefully there's Mexican food after this. You know how it is. And as we're working, my dad is in the nursing home that's just a block away. It's just up the street from where we were. And so we needed to go get something from his room real quick. And at this point, Jacob and Garrett hadn't seen my dad yet. And so I got to be honest, at this point in my life, I have been asking the whole time, where is God? I just feel like so numb from it all. Have you ever been so disappointed, discouraged, and defeated, and really you feel alone that you're just kind of numb? You don't feel sad, you don't feel happy, you don't feel angry, you don't feel lazy. You're just kind of in the middle, numb. I'd been that way for quite a few months, and I go up to his room, and Garrett and Jacob join me. And my dad, whenever he sees me at this stage in his life, he just starts bawling. He just starts crying. He doesn't know what to do. He wants out of there so bad, and he doesn't know what to do. He's confused, he's alone, and he's scared. And my dad is just crying, and I'm talking to him, trying to comfort him, and just tell him, hey, we're taking your stuff up to Flagstaff. You'll move up there really soon. And at this point, again, I'm just looking at my dad, and I can't comfort him. I can't console him. There's nothing I can say, and I am just, you guys, I'm numb, and I don't know what to do. This has been the most devastating time in my life. And I turn around, and my best buddy, Garrett, he is crying. He sees my dad and I interacting and talking, and he just starts crying. He loses it, and he has to leave the room. And as sad of a moment as that is, I can't tell you what it meant to me to see my best friend crying with me. I couldn't cry at the moment, and I had been so numb by it all. I was in go mode, but he's sitting there just seeing the humanity of this moment between my dad and I just remember I felt God with me in that moment. And I know that might seem weird to you to think of it that way, that why does Garrett crying prove that God was with me? It does, because I wasn't able to be feeling emotions in that moment. I had felt too many for too long, and I was honestly doubting that God was with me. But you know what? When I saw my friend care that much, I was in that moment in the presence of God. I knew it. It was the proof that God had been with me this whole time. And it reminds me of what Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, his mother always used to tell him this, that when you see emergencies, when you see disasters, when you see bad things happening, people always say, well, where is God? What's God doing right now, right? All of us, we're thinking about COVID, right? I mean, we thought it was going to get better, and now in Arizona, there's a huge spike, and things are shutting down again, and it's not going well, and all of us feel like, what is the future, right? Where is God? Why isn't he fixing this? Why isn't he healing this? Why isn't he changing this? And Mr. Rogers' mom would always teach him and tell him this, that whenever things like that happen, look for the helpers. Look for the people who are getting busy serving and loving. I saw that lesson come to life to me that day. And I found out when I had no other options, when I didn't know what to do and I didn't know what to tell my dad to give him comfort and to tell him that he would eventually have a better future or something. Like I didn't know. I didn't know how to encourage him. My friend crying, just leaving that room, showed me God was with me. And I hope that means something to you today. If you feel lost, if you feel isolated, if you feel like there's no options, just remember, beyond how you feel, God is with you.